The body of the little nanny has gradually grown, but always unconscious in front of the male host. Immoral lunch. Just when the male master couldn't help but be about to extend his hand, his wife suddenly appeared. Faced with the questioning of his wife, the male host can only lie that he fears the girl has a cold. Wanted to cover her with a blanket. Seeing her husband like that, the wife is also semi-suspicious. Go and call the sleeping nanny up. However, she did not know that her husband had a crush on the beauty of the little nanny. Just because her husband is afraid of ruining his reputation has no choice but to suppress and pretend to be a gentleman. A sunny morning. Husband away brought a girl in front of his wife. I didn't expect the husband who had been working for half a year to bring back a woman. The girl's name was Cindy, her parents both died when she was 18 years old. Seeing this shows mercy. Then took her home to work as a nanny. At first the wife was very happy. She enthusiastically brought the nanny into the house. He also brought his young clothes to her. Cindy's pure and lovely look along with the hostess's shirt. This immediately made the little nanny look even sexier and more attractive. Not only did the male host's eyes occasionally glance. Even the wife, who is the same woman, feels ashamed of herself, can't help but want to watch more. Perhaps this is the fairy's own charm. However, since the appearance of the little nanny, husband treats wife attitude has taken a 180-degree turn. Not only did he not go back to his bedroom every night, he was always in the second-floor reading room for overtime. But also talked to young nannies everywhere. It seemed that the new wife was an outsider. The young nanny always pretends to be innocent. Watching the couple's feelings gradually crumble. A woman's sixth sense makes the wife realize that her position is in danger. The little nanny is not only beautiful, but her clothes are also getting more and more open. Especially the way the little nanny looks at her husband is always full of infinite desire. This also led to the wife staying up all night. Having nightmares every night. Always dreamed that her husband sneaked into the nanny's room in the middle of the night. That night, the wife was again awakened by nightmares. Discovering that her husband lying next to her had disappeared. The wife went to the office looking for her husband but still couldn't find him. But when she reached the living room on the first floor, suddenly a noise was heard coming from the nanny's room. The wife couldn't believe this was true. But her hands would not deceive her. Just as she was about to open the door, a large hand patted her shoulder from behind. The woman was surprised to see that the husband who was supposed to be in the nanny's room suddenly appeared right behind her. After the wife learned her husband smoked on the balcony, her suspended heart also slowly let go. It seemed that it was all because she thought too much. She opened the nanny's room. Seeing her dressed in cool clothes lying on her bed, the wife has no evidence. Could only turn and walk away. But do not know why, since the little nanny came to this house. The wife often feels dizzy. Today she went shopping for food at the supermarket. Just as he was about to stand up, he suddenly began to feel dizzy again. Dark vision, almost fainted. So she hurriedly paid the bill. Get home half an hour early. But as soon as she entered the house, she saw her husband and the nanny eating clumsily in the kitchen. The wife angrily rushed to ask her husband. But in the blink of an eye, when the wife entered the kitchen, she only saw her husband eating. Nothing strange seemed to happen between the two of them. Was I dizzy just now? The wife at this time did not talk much. She decided to go find the evidence herself. So in the evening, she quietly went to the little nanny's room in a messy place. Sure enough, she discovered her husband's lighter. She then went to the nanny to ask why her husband's lighter appeared in her room. Just when she couldn't explain why Away's husband suddenly appeared, Away told his wife that the lighter was broken. He threw it in the trash himself. Maybe the nanny didn't want to waste, so she picked it up again. Face the seamless answer of two people. In addition to the pitiful look of the little nanny, the wife also sometimes felt that perhaps she had thought too much. But when she was alone holding the lighter sitting in her chair, thinking about what had happened to her recently, accidentally discovered that this lighter was not broken, can still be used normally. So this means that my husband is lying. But this scene was also witnessed by the little nanny, who was hiding in the corner. The next day, the wife, to verify her thoughts. When the nanny isn't home, she sneaks into her room looking for evidence. Unexpectedly discovered a shocking secret about the little nanny. Just when she wants to touch the doll, the back door suddenly opened. The creepy doll actually appeared at the door. The woman watched in horror as the doll suddenly turned into a little nanny. The scene just now scared his wife into her pants. Since she discovered the little nanny's doll, strange things happen to her one after another. At night, the sleeping wife is always vague. Hear someone walking towards the stairs. After being awakened, she saw her husband again through the slit of the door sneaking into the little nanny's room. The moment she mustered up the courage to step forward and open the door, but stunned by a mysterious force. When she woke up again, she went back to her room. She loudly scolded her husband for being hypocritical, dirty and shameless. However, the scolded husband was still stunned, while blaming his wife for causing an unprovoked fight. He also told his wife to see a psychiatrist tomorrow and left in a hurry. But the next day, her husband had just left for work. The wife was almost beaten to death by the nanny on the second floor with a vase. "What's wrong? I'm so sorry, are you okay? What are you doing?" Seeing the little nanny's disdainful expression made the wife think even more frightened. Back in the living room, the wife suddenly remembered the doll that the little nanny held in her arms. After trying to think again, she finally remembered. Half a year ago she had appeared in her husband's show. This means that the husband and nanny have probably known each other for a long time. So she went to the studio and opened her husband's show, trying to find the image of the doll. But she searched countless times and still couldn't find it. And this whole scene was peeped at by the little nanny. Reveal an attractive expression. Didn't expect the wife to have an accident the next night. Just walked into the closed kitchen. She suddenly felt like her brain was deprived of oxygen. She was stunned, her weak limbs falling to the ground. When she was about to lose consciousness, she vaguely saw that the gas stove valve had not closed. She closed the gas stove valve with the last remaining will to survive. Then immediately opened the door to breathe fresh air. This made her save her life. The wife angrily called the nanny who was bathing in the kitchen. Ask the little nanny if she wants to K.I.L. her. Do you feel like this doesn't look right? Who did you want to K.I.L.? So the lady had to close it like that. Can poison gas really K.I.L. people? The words of the little nanny almost drove the wife crazy. She could only find her husband to speak warmly in her heart. And talked about how the nanny used to want to use a flower pot to beat her to death for her husband. But never thought that after her husband heard this, he said nothing. Go straight to the living room. Then phone a psychiatrist. Ignoring his wife's explanation, he insisted on taking his wife to a mental hospital to see if. The husband's approach made the wife's heart chill. The little nanny sneaked up on the couple arguing, a strange smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. The helpless wife can only tell her best friend. Unexpectedly, her close friend also said that she had confused thoughts and had illusions of persecution. If the wife is close, will be able to help her find a psychiatrist. Hearing her best friend say this, the wife's mood collapsed instantly. A feeling of betrayal and separation suddenly hit her heart. Look at her best friend's talking face. In front of her eyes again began to appear hallucinations. At this time, the last line of defense in the wife's heart completely collapsed. Instead of waiting to die, she decides to strike before the little nanny moves to do something. That afternoon, she went to the loft window. Prepare to make a trap here. Create an unintended accident to get rid of this sinister nanny. Create an